Well, Derek Dooley won just 15 games as Tennessee's head coach.
But you know, he sure did give Vols fans some pretty unique memories, both good and bad. Jim is here with more on the former coach and his career at UT.
Laurie, when Derek Dooley was hired almost 3 years ago now, he was seen as the complete opposite of Tennessee's previous coach, Lane Kiffin. Dooley was a guy who knew the SEC, watched his dad Vince win a national title at Georgia in 1980. And on January 15, 2010, he was named head coach of the Volunteers. He came in with charisma, a former lawyer who felt more fulfilled following his dad's footsteps into coaching.
I'm humbled, I'm honored to stand before you as the next head football coach at the University of Tennessee.
Derek Dooley came to Tennessee to steady a ship that began listing when Philip Fulmer was fired and Lane Kiffin left under the cover of darkness.
I offered Derek the job at maybe 4 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, late this afternoon.
Can I just jump in? There's never been a head coach given less time to prepare for this than me.
But even from the beginning, some Tennessee fans wondered whether Dooley was the right guy. Hired in desperation after posting an overall losing record in just 3 seasons at Louisiana Tech.
You see flashes of ability, but then you see flashes where they look really bad because they don't know what, they get so much on them and they're thinking about so many things that they can't perform to their capacity.
His first season at Tennessee produced mixed results. Players valued highly under Kiffin soon found the door under Dooley. On the field, the Vols won their first game under their new head coach, but Tennessee lost 5 of their next 7 games. Although unknown at the time, last-minute losses would become a Dooley trademark. 5 games later, it happened again in the Music City Bowl.
I thought I'd seen it all in Baton Rouge, but just when you think you've seen it all, you haven't.
1944.
Here comes the boats. It was coming. You know, the binoculars, like, oh my God. The Americans were the exact opposite. We hit the beach and we're on the wrong spot. What do? I don't know, but these guys are firing. We better go hide over there and blow some stuff up to get up there. You know, they weren't looking for, and I mean, that's so we got to make that transition.
In year number 2, improvement was expected. Unfortunately for Dooley, the season wasn't defined by wins, but by injuries. Despite that, the Vols were sitting at 5-6 heading into the season finale. Another bowl bid was possible, but the Vols proceeded to lose their first game to Kentucky in 27 years. It was a sour way to end the season.
Sometimes you don't always get what you want, but a lot of times you get what you deserve. And we're not a good football team, and we got a lot of work that we need to do to be a good football team.
Dooley faced a catastrophe in the offseason. His entire coaching staff, with the exception of offensive coordinator Jim Chaney, jumped ship. In effect, Dooley was starting from scratch. He hired 8 new coaches, including a boisterous new defensive coordinator in Sal Sinceri.
Prior to the snap, I know I'm coming, I take a little step like that. That's all I want to see you do. Just do it my way.
Despite the way 2011 ended with a returning cast of talented players, 2012 brought high expectations. Even the coach admitted it in July at the SEC preseason media event.
I feel better today than I've ever felt since my time in Knoxville. I made that statement after spring practice, and it's because of our roster. I mean, we have a lot more experience, we have a lot more talent, we're deeper, and we're a lot more mature. Emotionally, we're a lot more mature team, now it's just a matter of going out there and notching up some wins.
5 weeks later, Tennessee showed signs the preseason hype was legitimate. The Vols beat North Carolina State. In retrospect, that win may have been the high point of Derek Dooley's career at Tennessee. A very rare sight, one of the few times Derek Dooley had a chance to celebrate a win. With a recent focus on NCAA issues at Tennessee, Dooley kept the program out of trouble. That has to be part of his legacy here. Athletics Director Dave Hart says Dooley, quote, indeed improved the football program. And he added, there's no question about that. Live in the studio, Jim Wogan, 6 Sports.